Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Forever Stranded. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing great. Aside from having to deal with this. So, I have been working on trying to get this system figured out for I don't know how long. And at one point, I even did something that caused the game to crash, and I had to back up, losing an hour plus of time. So, yeah, not real fun. But I finally got it working. So, I am just doing kind of a simulation of what is going on here. So, I have two item frames that I can rotate the items in with comparators in it. One of these comparators is set to subtraction, so I can regulate the signal strength here from 0 to 7, and that works good for simulating the actual comparator output off of the energy cell. So we have a couple of displays here, and the easiest thing to do here, we'll just go through all of this. First off, we say, are the generators running? Now, if the generators are running, that means that this redstone line is off. If we turn this on, it'll say, nope, they're not running, because that's the way that we need them to be set up, and that is simply for these guys up here. You know, we need power to be on to shut them off. It's kind of weird. But so first we have, are the generators running? Next we have, is the stored power low? So right now that is true, so we have a value of 0 at the moment. If we take this up a little to 2, it still says that it's low, but if we take it to 3, now it says no, power is not low. So then we have, is stored power high? So this one is false right now, but if we push this up to 7, now that's true. Okay, so on top, with either of these, is the stored power low? If it is, if power is low and the generator is off, turn on the generators. So right now it's saying, now we don't need to turn on the generators because that's low. Now also it says if the stored power is high, if so, turn off the generators. So no matter what, it's going to turn off the generators. Now, we're just going to break all of these. These were kind of there as reference for me to figure it all out. But what we've got here is actually a pretty simple system. We want that to be off so that we don't override things. We have a few variables in here. So we have some static variables. We've got a 0, a 2, a 6, and a 15. Now, 2 is our low state, 6 is our high state, 0 is the redstone power we want when the generators are turned on, 15 is what we want when they are turned off. So those are all of our inputs. Then we have some logic that runs in here. So first off, we check to see if the generators are running. This, and I would highly recommend this if you are going to do some complicated integrated dynamics, go ahead and rename the variables after you get them programmed, and they will store that name. So like if we go ahead and rename this one to, I don't know. So, oh, we need a level. So if we rename one of these guys to, I don't know, and then assign it to something in here, we'll just say we give it an integer value of that, it will save that name. So that is very helpful if you are having to debug things. So like, I don't want this to be 6 when it's all said and done, but I will be able to change that and it won't affect anything. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that. But anyway, very strongly recommend naming your variables. So this guy here, it's checking to see, and we can see variable IDs 38 and 39. It is checking to see if they are equal to each other. So 38 is our redstone, our generator redstone output. which is this line right here, and 39 is a value of 0. So right now that is false. We have a copy of it here, gen running. So you can copy these also, but gen running is currently resolving as false. So then we have stored power low. And this is less than or equal on variables 44 and 45, which is the power cell comparator, the value that is read right here, and 45 is the value of 2. So already you can kind of see where things are going. Stored power high. We've got comparing greater than or equal between 44 and 48. So once again, 44 is going to be the power cell comparator. Yes, we can use variables in many locations. And 48 is going to be the value of 6, which is the top end of what we want our power cells to put out. And so those are just some logic. Next, we come down into these. So turn the generator on. So we do a choice in here, and this one took me a little while to find. So if we take, we will go with Boolean, if I select this. So why? Okay, well, we will go ahead and do this. Oh, it's logical, that's why. No. Well, we will just go ahead and do something here. This is an integer. We will do a not. That's a pretty easy one. So, logical not. We can't do... Well, dang it. I just need... That and that. Can't. Operator received input type. That position was type Boolean. Blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway. Somewhere down in here, there is a question mark. And I have a feeling it's pretty far down. Here it is. So question mark, operator choice. So with this, we put in a Boolean input, and then if it's true, it assigns result 1. If false, it assigns result 2. So in this case, it is checking variable 46, which is this guy, and there's a reason I have them stacked like this. So it checks operator 46. If it's true, it assigns a value of 39, which is this one, 0. So it's saying if it's less than or equal to 2, then we're going to say output 0. Otherwise, it is going to output 38, which is the gen redstone output. So that means that it will just save the value and keep repeating it. The other one, turn the generator off, or turn off gen, is checking Boolean 49, this guy. And if that is true, it is going to set a value of 15. Otherwise, it is also going to go with a value of 38 and just leave the value alone. And so that one took me a little bit to figure out. But at that point, we still haven't really set everything. And these guys are copies of those turn on and off because I was having so much trouble trying to figure this out. So in here, I finally have one more choice card, and I need to name this one, but it is checking once more, and it is checking variable 46. So it is checking to see if we are less than or equal to 2. If not, or if it is, then it will take 56. It will turn the generator on. Otherwise, it will turn the generator off. Now, either one of these has special cases, and so if it hits a certain value, it will modify what we're getting for our redstone power. Otherwise, it'll just read it off of here and leave it alone. So if we come over here and start lowering this. So currently we're at 7. We can rotate this guy to pull it back down. We stay off, 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 off. The next one, which will give us a value of 2, we'll go ahead and turn this redstone off, which would activate the generators. So I do have this set currently at a frequency of 10 to try to reduce a little bit of the lag. I guess I wouldn't need to. I could set that as a frequency of 1. That is the number of ticks between checks on that. But so now we have a value of 2. And let's say that we run the generator or the power cell all the way down. So the generators are working full blast, and so then they slowly start creeping back up. So we're still at 0, we get to 1, we get to 2, generators are still on, we get to 3, still on, 4, 5, at 6, this is the last one before the generators turn back off, and then at 7, immediately our redstone comes on, and then running back down keeps the generators on until we hit 2 again. So yeah, it took me a lot to figure this out. I kid you not, I think I probably spent about 5 or 6 hours trying to figure this out. I watched a little bit from Direwolf 20 on integrated dynamics, did not really help too much. But yeah, I mean, the logic in here is a little bit hard to comprehend, but as I'm starting to get things figured out, it is definitely getting easier for me to understand what's going on. Now, when I did crash, I did have kind of a weird thing that the variable card that I was putting in was complaining that it couldn't find itself. Now, I have no idea what was going on with that. It was fine if I put it into a display panel or into the redstone writer, and it would just say, nope, can't find this. It was variable 80, and the card was variable 80. And as soon as I dropped it into the variable store, that's when I crashed. And I could not reload the game. So if you do happen to run across a point where the variable card that you're working with starts complaining that it can't find itself, which I don't know how that even happens, then I would strongly recommend erasing that card. Make it over, do it again. That is not worth it. It took me about 20 minutes to figure out what backup I needed to go to. So, yeah, not real fun. But this is working. The nice part about this is now, I can remove all of these displays. They are not important. And so we have one block for this redstone reader and the redstone writer. We can put our variable store right here and connect between them. And then our other redstone reader can be on the back side of this one. So literally we only need 3 blocks for this system to work, and we can duplicate it. Thank God we can duplicate it to be able to get multiple values that would output for different generators. So yes, like I say, I've been working at this for a long time, so I'm gonna go kill some zombies for a while. I'll be back in a little bit. Maybe I'll have this set up in the upstairs of the generator. Well, been doing a whole bunch of stuff while I have been away, and there's a bunch that has changed here. You can't tell from in here, but this is going to make a bunch of you guys happy. It has been bothering me to no end. Yes, the mess is gone. Well, it's not gone. It's just moved. But it is now up here closer to where we are going to need it. So we've got a lot of chests up here. They have been highly organized. So we've got all of our compact machine stuff there, a bunch of stuff for extra utilities too. Oh, this should be in here for extra utilities too. Got a bunch of the stuff that is involved with the sag mill. all of our power related stuff, which we're going to grab a couple of stacks of Eyes of Ender. We've got a bunch of the stuff here for the painting machine, the alloy smelter, the atomic reconstructor, the display stands. Yep, a bunch of stuff there. And then here's our miscellaneous stuff that, yeah, I mean, we just don't have it yet. But now one thing that we should see, yeah, actually that is right. And you know what, we're going, well, yeah, let's see. We should be able to, there we go. We've got all of the energy pulled out of that now. So let's go ahead and throw that in here. All right, so I got the machine pulled down here, ran into just a touch of a problem. Wasn't really much, but there was a tiny bit of a problem that it didn't quite recognize one of the connections correctly when I moved it. But we do have the 2 generators, so yeah, we are going to be running 2 generators off of each power cell. And so we've got these 2 wired up. They have a redstone conduit coming in from the back to activate them, and then a hardened flux duct to carry it away. Now these are set to redstone off, so what we're going to do is we are going to dump our stuff in there. Now, one of the things that I do want to do is get a little bit of displays up here, but for now, this is how compact I was able to make this thing. I could probably make it even more compact by moving the variable store back just 1 block, but because of the nature of the redstone conduits, you know, we can have all 3 of our readers and writers in 1 block. So, okay, so we just hit our first little bit of power. So this will run until it hits 6. So I think what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to let this run for a little bit. It has a little ways to go. I may even give it a little bit of a boost and put in 2 more generators. But I'm going to let that go for a little bit, and I will let you guys know how it turns out. Well, we just ticked over to a redstone signal of 6 on the comparator, which means if everything is working correctly, this should shut down here in just a moment. So let's see here. We're still at 6. Oh, there it is, 7. Power came on. And look at that. One of the smokestacks shut off. Now that should also mean that all of the generators down here should have shut down as well. Well, at least these 2 did. These 2 did not, I believe, because this is not set to strong power. So if we set that to strong power, now these guys should shut down as well. Yep. So, yeah, we will, like I say, we will only be having 2 generators per smokestack, which means I am going to have to increase the size of this. But the other thing is I would like to put some other things in here, like maybe when it comes on, there's some fire that turns on down here or something like that. I think there would be some really neat things that we could do there. I want to make some neat looking bits down there. So the next thing that I want to do, I want to come down here and grab, so we're going to just grab a display panel and generator redstone output and some variable cards. So generator redstone output already is correct. So, or at least it should be. I hope. Let's just see here. Part ID 19, variable 64. Part ID 19. All right, so we're good there. So now what we want to do is put a logic conduit here. And we're going to put a display panel right there. And now we are going to change the way that this is done. So we want the... Okay, so we're going to want a string, I think. Let's say active. And we'll put a string variable on here. And then what we want is another one that says, no, string inactive, and then we're going to want, we actually don't even need this gen redstone output. So what we should be able to do is rewrite it. Let's go ahead and clear this. So what we need here is just a simple check on it. Actually, we will need it. Okay, so all that we need to do is a comparison. So equals, so if we're gonna have to grab another variable. Actually, we should be able to do gen running. Okay, so we will use that. Let's go ahead and go filter here, do a choice. Inactive and active. We're going to do choice and then gen running. If it is true, we want it to be active. If it is not, we want it inactive. And we are going to rewrite the gen redstone output with that. And that's another thing, is that you can have multiple things running on the same name. So now if we drop this in here, it says inactive. Let's go ahead and change our top end value. So this is just an integer, and we're going to change this to 8. So that should give us a slightly higher value on everything. Now hopefully everything should still work. Okay, so it is not, okay, inactive, active, inactive. All right, let's change that again because, all right, yeah, I see what's going on. Okay, we'll change this to, say, 13, but I do see what's going on. So while I am editing that, the power is continuing to flow. So right now it is active. We are running. We're getting power here, and then once it reaches whatever 13 is, so let's see, where are we at right now? We're at 10. So when it reaches the 13 value, it will go to inactive. We'll have inactive here. We'll have that. Yeah, and that is so cool that that comes on when we need it there. This was just as a test to see that that works, so we'll go ahead and remove that. And I may, like I said, I may be able to make this a little bit tighter. I don't know. I could probably put this on top and then have the cable there with the active, and then it's just a matter of what can we do to hide this. Now, I did see in the video tutorials for this, in at least the 1.12 version, maybe in the 1.12 version, but for sure in the newest version of Integrated Dynamics, you can put covers on this. And I don't know if we have anything like that here in this. So this has got to be getting pretty close. So it still says that it's active, but it appears that nothing is happening. Yeah, we're at 14. So there is definitely something that is incorrect there. Well, I'll have to try to figure that out because there's obviously something wrong there. But yes, with that, we can completely fill this up. That generator has shut down now. That is great. I love it. All right. Well, I will continue working on a couple of things here, and I will be back. Well, annoyingly, I don't know what the issue is here. So it is turning on the generators as soon as I set it to output. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, that's what we're trying to avoid here. So I thought maybe it had something to do with the fact that we didn't have a redstone line here, but apparently that is not the case because we've got a redstone line here that it can read, so definitely not that. It seems like there's something else going on here because power storage is high and it doesn't want to turn off the generator. So I don't know what's going on here. So I'm gonna have to do some major digging here. And I guess I don't have that right. That could be part of it. So yeah, that is meant to be a choice. So I'm gonna have to copy a couple of those and see exactly what is going on. But I mean, this was working down below in the test setup, so it should work just fine up here. So more debugging. Well, this is rather annoying, what I found out as to why this was not working properly. So I did a little testing over here with the redstone conduit, and strangely enough, redstone conduit will not put out a signal strength of 15. So when we put in a signal strength of 15 into the redstone conduit, it will only put out a signal strength of 14. So no wonder I was having so much trouble. What I've managed to find out was when I turn this off, we can watch the redstone here, and it will rapidly decline in power and then turn off. And so what it's doing, because of the way that this is working, it is reading the value from the redstone conduit and then feeding it back into the redstone conduit. But every time it decreases by 1. So every tick, it decreases by 1. So what we need to do is actually set up a new variable. And yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I was doing here trying to figure out what was going on. But we need to set up a new integer at 1. So we will set up an integer with 1. And then we will need to grab, let's see, let's make sure this is on, yes. So we need to grab a variable here. And so we have 38 is our gen redstone output. And we are going to need to add the gen redstone output and 1 to boost the power back up. Put that back into a variable. And so this is going to be our new 15, or our proper output amount. So let's go ahead and put these back in here. This one needs to go in. And then where we are checking these guys, this is really fun. So we need 46 and 39, which this is 46 and this is 39. So we have 46. We're checking 46 in the Boolean. And if it's true, we output 39. If it's false, we output 38. Well, 38 is our old gen redstone. So we need to actually change that to be... Where did it go? This guy. So we need to grab that one. So the turn on gen needs to, instead of pointing to 38, it needs to point to 72. So let's go ahead and redo this. So we need a choice. So let's go ahead and filter by that. Grab our choice. We check stored power low. If it is true, so if it's true, we change it to 39, which has a value of 0. If it's false, we set it to 32 to be our new value, and we will reset the information inside the turn gen on routine. So this will complain because things are broken. So let's go ahead and put the stored power back in. Now, if we put this back in there, now we just need to add this one, and we should be good. If we remove that one, now we should see this one complaining. Yes, variable 72 could not be found. But then this one also uses 38. So we have 49, 61, and 38. So this is 49. There's 61. And then instead of 38, we will put 72 on that one. So again, we need the choice. Can we just search question mark? No, because I think question mark does anything. So if we say choice, can we search choice? Yes, we can. Okay, so we want the choice with power high. We are going to be true with 61 and false with 72. Reset the turn off gen variable. We'll drop these back in here. And now, if I turn this off, we should see, no, it's still, it's still not working. Why? I am so confused. So let's see, we can see this is the old turn gen off value. Can we see, do we still have gen redstone output? Let's try putting this in here. No, that's active inactive. So this is still going to drop like a rock. Yeah. Why? I added one. 38 and 71. 71 has a value of 1. 38 is our redstone output, which that is tied to part 19, which should be, whoops, should be this one, I believe. Gen redstone output 38, part number or part ID 19. Drop this back in there. Okay. Let's turn it off again. See what happens. No. I am very much confused. Well, I don't know what the heck is going on with this. I am just absolutely baffled by what is happening here. So, I honestly don't know. But I will have to try to figure this out between episodes because I am way over time. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you want to see me work on, be sure to leave that down in the comments. And I will see you next time. Bye.